Now, you may have missed it, but Yasser Qadi offered an analogy in his attack.
Okay, David Woods is really funny though. Okay, like how could you miss that?
On ex-Muslims.
It's like if you go through a bad relationship or divorce, just leave and move on.
Ex-Muslims are to Islam what a woman is to her ex-boyfriend.
I don't remember sticking my penis in Islam, but sure, okay, we go with that analogy.
It's like if you go through a bad relationship or divorce, just leave and move on.
Just as a woman should move on after a breakup, so also ex-Muslims should move on after leaving Islam.
I mean, you guys know I was like pretending right now, okay? It's, let's be fair, let's be honest here. I'm not the needy one in this relationship, okay? You come on, guys, okay? That was all a joke, okay? When I was, all the sex I had with Islam, it was so great. It was the best sex Islam has ever had, okay? It's the best sex Islam ever had. You have no idea, okay? Islam continues to drip every time she thinks about me. Just automatically she starts dripping, okay? As soon as she thinks about me. That's why they're coming after us. Okay, so it's not me. This was all just a joke, okay? I left Islam. She can't move on, okay? She is a crazy one. She's like one of those craziest ones out there, okay? Like, she would want me dead if that means I'm not going to be with anyone else, right? I've been like, I'm now with Enlightenment Values, okay? Very great relationship we have. Everything's fantastic. But Islam is so jealous that if she can't have me back, she's going to have me dead. Because nobody can have me if Islam can't have me. That's how crazy the situation is, okay? So this is not me. I've moved on. I moved on, okay? But this bitch be crazy, okay? And I have to warn other people, okay? Because she's going after other people as well. And I need to try to save them.
I actually like this analogy. I think it's a good analogy. But as is often the
Oh yeah. You're right. This is why they say the standard narrative has holes in it.
As is often the case with analogies, we need to fill in some details to make the analogy stronger. So let's modify the situation between the woman and her ex-boyfriend to make it a bit more analogous to the situation between ex-Muslims and Islam.
I like this game. This is fun. This is a fun game.
Suppose a little girl is born into the world and her parents raise her to love a certain man. Before she can even form rational thoughts, her parents are raising her to be madly in love with this man, no matter what he does. Moreover, the parents make all kinds of false claims about the man because they them.
Oh, I don't like it. They're making Islam the man and we're the... Sure, fine. I'll be the girl. Islam can be the man. It's okay.
Themselves were raised to believe.
David Wood, you just made this a little bit less fun, but it's okay. We play it by your rules.
These false claims. They tell their daughter that the man's suit has been perfectly and miraculously preserved, even though the suit is covered in holes.
Holes in the standard narrative! Holes in the standard narrative! That's what he's saying. That's what isn't he? Yeah, I think so.
They tell their daughter that the man is a brilliant scientist, even though he thinks that the sun sets in a muddy pool. They tell their daughter that he's the greatest man who ever lived, even though the man is a sick, twisted, manipulative, violent moron.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I like when people do comedy and the comedy is good and they look at the camera without any... This is good comedy. Come on, David Wood. Yep. Come on, guys. That's pretty good.
The girl is forced into a relationship with this man, and he spends the entire relationship manipulating and controlling her.
I don't even know who you are. Look at this comment. Removing my comments and don't even answer me in chat. You are so insignificant, and your comments are so insignificant. Why would I even bother spending half a second removing your comments?
Oddly enough, his main obsession is forcing her to dress and eat and drink and think and talk and even go to the bathroom like a 7th century Arab, even though she's not Arab and lives in the 21st century. But she does it. She obeys because he's her boyfriend and a master manipulator. Eventually, however, she's watching some YouTube videos about...
Hey, David Wood is giving himself... I mean, to be fair, he does deserve credit for making a lot of people leave Islam. But that's good. So she was like submitting to Islam, and then she discovered David Wood videos, and that's why she's now an ex-Muslim.
And she sees critics of her boyfriend providing conclusive proof that he's a sick, twisted, manipulative, violent moron. His suit is covered in holes.
Okay. My story is different, okay? When I didn't watch any videos. I figured it out myself. Guys, look at me. I was in an Islamic country, surrounded by Muslims. I did not know anybody in person, anybody in my life that was not a Muslim. Okay? I didn't know anybody that was not a Muslim. And I was not exposed to any anti-Islamic content. Any books, any people, and I figured it out. I was like, this stuff is crazy. This is all a lie. Right? Come on, guys. That's pretty good, isn't it? Is unbrainwash a word? I unbrainwashed myself without any other. The two things that had a major influence on me was biology and history. And none of the biology that I was reading and none of the history that I was reading was intended to suggest that religion is a BS. And yet, after studying history and studying biology, as a teenager, I came to the conclusion that, yeah, this is all man-made stuff, isn't it? The only thing that held me back to think like maybe I'm wrong was the implied arrogance that I figured something out that nobody around me has figured out. Nobody that I know of has figured this out. So the only thing that gave me pause was me like thinking like, am I really suggesting here, Armin, are you really this arrogant to think that you figured something out by yourself and nobody around you, including these university profs and doctors and your teachers and your family, nobody figured this out. And you peeny little you, just sat down and thought about it and you figured out that this is all man-made? So I was like, that's a major claim here. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe everybody is saying something that I'm not saying. But I was like, nah, I think I'm right. Okay? And then once I looked into it a bit more, I was like, my arrogance was justified. It was justified arrogance. And ever since then, if somebody tells me like, you're being arrogant, then I realize that, yes, and rightfully so.
He's not a brilliant scientist. The only reason she loved him was that she had been manipulated into loving him, first by her parents and later by the evil manipulator himself. So she breaks up with him. She leaves him. Her parents are enraged. They say, "We will never accept you as our daughter until you go back to your boyfriend, no matter what he does to you."
My story is a bit different. I mean, what he's saying is pretty common, to be fair to David, but okay. What he's saying for a lot of ex-Muslims, this is very, very common. My story is I told my parents that I'm an atheist now, and they said, thank God, because what I was before I was an atheist was this religious extremist that I was trying to enforce Sharia law in the house. I was trying to get my parents to be more observant, like not just be nominal Muslims, be actual practicing Muslims. And that annoyed the crap out of my parents, okay? So when I told my parents that I'm an atheist, they said, oh, thank God, because they thought like, oh my God, this religious police in our house is not religious anymore. So they were happy for half a second because they soon realized, okay, this way, they soon realized after that this is not any better. In fact, this is a lot worse because what they didn't put two and two together, because what they should have realized is that when our son, when he was religious, he couldn't shut up about Islam. He couldn't shut up about it, right? So what they should have concluded is now that he's an atheist, he's also not going to be able to shut up about it. And that's not safe. That's not safe in Iran. In Iran, being a rebellious atheist teenager that can't stop talking about atheism, it's pretty dangerous, right? So they went from being annoyed to being terrified. Anyways.
She then realizes that her parents have been manipulated by him as well, and that he's such a masterful manipulator, he can destroy her relationship with her own family. That's how much control he has. This sounds like the script of a Lifetime movie. But she won't go back to him. So he starts sending her messages saying, no one leaves me. If I can't have you, no one will.
Yes.
I'm going to find you and I'm going to kill you.
Oy.
He even sends his most devout servants to threaten her with capital punishment for leaving him.
The capital punishment in Islamic law would be applied to you. We have no doubt. And we're proud of that.
That's when she notices something even more disturbing. She notices that her ex-boyfriend, the master manipulator, is grooming millions of other girls.
Okay. You guys might think like I'm being naive here. No, actually I did. I was gonna say I didn't fear. No, there are so many examples that I was scared. I'm being honest with you guys, okay? There are some times that I was afraid that something is gonna genuinely happen to me. I was gonna say that most of the, like, I've been doing atheist activism for the past, 15 years now, I think. And most of the time I felt it's okay. But there were some times that, like, I remember when I was in Canada, in North Vancouver, I used to live in North Vancouver, and I remember that I used to live in this apartment that was very, very small, and I used to do like my atheist activism on a laptop on the floor. And I remember sometimes dreaming about the Basij, the morality police from Iran, knocking at my door in Canada. Like I woke up to it, like, oh my God, I'm okay. I'm in Canada. They can't reach me here. And I was a bit afraid a little bit, because I always felt when I became a Canadian resident, because I wasn't yet a citizen, I was full on doing my activism. I came out as the person behind Atheist Republic. I don't know. Yeah, so I did, like, we became the world's largest atheist community. And I always felt like, you know what? I'm a resident. I'm not a citizen. I can still I could still one day be sent back or something. I don't know. And I would be killed. So I think that when I got my citizenship, I felt like, oof, I'm safe now. I'm safe. There's nothing. They can't come after me. You know what I mean? I can't. I'm safe. Like, I don't know. That sense of freedom and security was there. So yeah. So I was gonna act all brave and all, and be like, I never felt unsafe. But come on, I did my activism in Canada, not in Iran. Okay, so I don't have the balls that the ex-Muslims in Iran or in Saudi Arabia or in Bangladesh or in Pakistan or even in India or even in Tunisia or Malaysia and Indonesia, even those, okay? I don't have the balls to do what they do. I needed the safety and security of Canada to be able to do what I did, okay? But I don't think most ex-Muslims don't. Most ex-Muslims are not ex-Muslim activists, right? So most ex-Muslims in non-Islamic countries, the worst they have to deal with is backlash from the community and their family, most of them. If you're ex-Muslim in Canada, United States, UK, France, you're not afraid of somebody coming at. Let's not exaggerate, guys. Let's be honest here. You're not afraid of anybody coming in. Unless, like, for you to have some fear, you have to be like a full-on activist out there. And most ex-Muslims aren't. Most ex-Muslims, if they come out, they just come to their community and to their family, and that's about it. Maybe the most of the activism that they would do is maybe join an ex-Muslim chapter in their city and meet with other ex-Muslims. They're not afraid of anybody, killing them or anything like that, right? Activists, their situation is a bit different. They're like more high profile, more people end up hating on them, more people are trying to like reach them somehow. I had to get the police involved twice. Yeah, but unless you're an ex-Muslim in an Islamic country, most often you're not worried about anybody going choppy on you. No, not honor killings are not that common relative in non-Islamic countries, though. Ian is saying, Armin, you have balls. I only took a punch from my dad. Yeah, I think I was privileged when it comes to my family. Very privileged. I never faced any backlash from my family. In fact, when my mom died, she died as an atheist. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, what about people who get cut off financially when they've been dependent? Yeah, that's a huge problem. That's very common as well. But that's not the same as being worried about being somebody going choppy on you. Again, I'm using quoted language because I don't know what YouTube rules are.
She knows from experience that these girls will be deceived, exploited, and betrayed. She knows from experience that these girls will be forced to dress and eat and drink and think and talk and even go to the bathroom like 7th century Arabs, even though they're not 7th century Arabs.
I think there's a bit of an exaggeration going on here. Like, this is not. Oh wait, are we talking about Islam or Muslims? Okay, I guess yes. I guess Islam. If you're talking about Islam as an ideology, then this is accurate. Okay, what David Wood is saying is accurate. Okay, but thankfully, most Muslims are not enforcing this Islamic. Yeah, actually, I take it back. When I said most ex-Muslim in non-Islamic countries, they don't face this level of threat. Well, David Wood is not talking about the threat that you are. He's talking about Islam. Okay, Islam. If you could personify Islam as an ideology, if that was a person, then yeah, that person would want you dead for sure. Luckily, the vast majority of Muslims do not really reflect Islam, right? So David, actually, yeah, I take that back. He's not exaggerating because he's talking about Islam if that was a person. And what he's saying about Islam, that's completely accurate. And also subscribe to our newsletter, because if we get removed from all these platforms, at least we could reach out to you. And guys, by the way, if you subscribe to our newsletter, you get a free copy Why there's not? Where's your copy, Susanna? Get it. We're doing promotion. You get a free. It's not even promotion. It's free. Okay, so if you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description, you get a free copy of Why There's No God. Come on, like I'm handing it out for free. Okay, it's a bestseller on Amazon, and you get it for free. So subscribe to our newsletter, and you get a free copy of Why There's No God sent to you. Link in the description.